What's up, guys? It is Dan from FightWave, and today I'm joined by somebody I'm incredibly excited to speak with. A month in the works, and finally we get to speak with him today. We're privileged to be joined by one, in my opinion, one of the most exciting fighters on the planet right now, depending on who you ask, especially if you ask an Australian. The most exciting fighter from Australia right now to be looking forward to, coming off what it was a phenomenal KO victory over Matt Schnell at UFC Fight Night, Rosenstrike versus Gaziev. In my opinion, you can't start off 2024 quite like this man did. He did absolutely remarkable things to kickstart the year with that KO, and now he's facing the highly coveted UFC flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja at UFC 301 on May 5th for you Australians and May 4th for you Americans and everywhere abroad. I am joined by the Astro Boy himself, Steven Erceg. Steve, how are we doing today, brother? Man, what a couple of weeks it has been for yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Obviously thick into camp, so everything's sore and I'm tired and all that good stuff. But no, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity, and I'm looking to take it with both hands.
Absolutely, Stephen. First and foremost, I think the MMA world, especially the Australian fans, who were absolutely shocked when the news of your title fight with Alexandre Pantoja came out. Even yourself, you were a little bit surprised with just how early it came because, 9 months into the UFC, your UFC debut at UFC 289 against David Dvorak, you had a fight afterwards versus Alessandro Costa, and then you had the Matt Schnell fight, your fourth fight in the UFC, and you're fighting for the belt. Talk to me first and foremost about how you're feeling and how fast everything has gone, because I can only imagine it's so surreal for you to see how fast everything has kind of transpired.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling obviously super grateful for the opportunity. I wanted to fight the best guys. I want to challenge myself, and this guy is supposed to be exactly that, the best guy in the world. So I'm excited to find out who's really tougher, and I think it's me. And yeah, let's go.
Absolutely, and I can't, help but address, the fight was met with criticism on all ends by your fighter counterparts, but, for you, I know that you're up to the occasion of stepping up to the occasion. Proving the doubters wrong has been nothing short of the story of your career. Every fight you've gone into, there's been some sort of expectation against you, and you've came out of it kind of proving everyone wrong and proving why you belong amongst the top, flyweights in the world. Talk to me just about the reception from your fellow fighters and seeing just like the reception from guys like Sean O'Malley, who was like, who is this guy fighting for the belt? Which I thought was pretty funny, to be honest. But, talk to me just a little bit about this reception that you've been seeing and your thoughts on it overall.
Yeah, I mean, I could care less if people don't know who I am. I don't expect them to know who I am. Yeah, as you said, I've been here for like 9 months, 10 months now, something like that. So it's like, yeah, I don't blame you. But at the same time, I don't care. So I'm fighting for a title. This is what I've been working towards. If you underestimate me, you do it at your own peril. I've had, I guess, leading into the whole I don't look like a fighter thing. It's yeah, people because I don't look tough, they count me out and that sort of thing. I've been told that my whole career, right? Oh, this guy's the next big thing. This guy's this thing, and I'm always the guy across from the prodigy and all that nonsense. So I keep finding a way to win, and I'm gonna do the same this time.
No, yeah, definitely. But I feel like this was the best case scenario for the division. There was only two names that made sense to fight at 301, and there was yourself and Muhammad Mokaev. Obviously, Mokaev, his fair share of angry. I think him kind of the biggest angry flyweight of this whole fiasco. But you had other flyweights coming out and being very supportive. Brandon Royval, who just fought for the gold, he came out and said, "I'm excited to watch Steve versus Alessandre. I can't wait to see who my next opponent is in front of you, whether it be you or Alessandre." Overall, the reception at 125 has been really kind of up and down. What are your thoughts on just this fight, what it does for the division, and just, with a win, the influx of opponents that are at your disposal for you to continue to build your legacy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised Makaev's upset. I would be too if I was him. Like, he's been in the UFC a lot longer than I have. He's been doing good stuff. Just his last performance wasn't exactly a strong one, and I did have a strong one. So yeah, I mean, whatever. He seemed like a nice enough guy. He was trying to big dog me at the weigh-ins and like polite big dogging. It was quite fun actually. And yeah, Royval, and he probably understands where he is. He's had two attempts at Pantoja. He just fought him, and division's a bit of a weird spot at the moment. So uh, obviously, I'm looking to go in there and spice it up, take the title, and then all of a sudden, there's all these new different matchups ready to go and makes the division exciting. So yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. And I can't imagine a better time to be a fan from Western Australia right now than right now, honestly. You just got Jack Della Maddalena coming off a phenomenal win over Gilbert Burns at UFC 299. You've got yourself, fighting for the gold, and then you've got fighters like Quillen Southkill, Cody Haddon, and so many other fighters from WA right now stepping up to the occasion and really proving why WA is slowly becoming the standout state in Australian MMA. Talk to me just a little bit about all these moving parts. What's it meant for you to be able to see the evolution in WA? I know we spoke about it last time briefly, from fighting in rings to now finally having the cage and Eternal being a mainstay. What's it been like for you, and what would it mean for you to bring a belt back to WA and just prove everyone that says, oh, you have to go out east in Australia to train, that it can be done any state in Australia, and be that proof of it?
Yeah, even like people have been saying for years, not so much, oh, you got to move to over east, that people didn't really expect that was enough. They were like, oh, are you going to move to America? Are you going to move to this? It's like, no, I really think we have everything in the country that we need to be successful. Obviously you have had Robert Whitaker involved. They're Eastern States guys, and they've done really successfully. But we have wrestling here. We have good jiu-jitsu here. We have a lot of good MMA talent, a lot of good MMA gyms. And one thing that I do like about Perth, and I don't know if it's the same over East, is that once we're not fighting each other, every gym here like really bands together and like, oh, can we do anything to help? Can we do this? So I think we've got a really cool community here, and everybody's gunning for everybody's best interests.
Absolutely, and I want to touch on that for a moment. I know, for you, like you mentioned, when there's not really fights booked amongst the WA guys, you guys really do band together. And I know a fighter who, I think he went over to your Shark Tank recently, one of the sessions, by the name of Moses Dang, an upcoming, amateur who's going to make his pro debut. And it really does double down on the point that, WA fighters are very selfless. They all get together. They really help each other out. What's it been like for you to kind of take that leadership mantle, not just for Wilkes Martial Arts, but, be kind of like a resource for these younger guys to come up to. Maybe if you don't even see it yourself, but hey, Steve, I think 28 years of age, going, I think 29 this year, to be able to have what you've accomplished in such a short amount of time, I can't think of anybody else to be a better leader than yourself. Maybe if it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I can definitely see with some of the younger guys in the gym that I do have some influence. And I do realize that, yeah, maybe I am a leader. But yeah, I definitely don't look at myself as a leader most of the time. I'm just here doing my own thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm being selfish or whatever, but I'm just trying to be really good at something. And if people take inspiration or look at me for leadership, I'll do my best not to disappoint them.
Absolutely. And, I wanted to highlight another thing, which was, I always loved the story of coaches and fighters coming up together. And I know you and Coach David Wilkes, over a decade together, with you training in the fight game, what would it mean for you to bring a belt back to Wilkes Martial Arts? And just kind of reminiscing back on your journey with Coach David Wilkes, what's it meant for you to have him kind of at your side? A coach like that who really commits himself to his athletes, doesn't get a lot of credit, I feel like, amongst the WA coaches. What would it mean for you to be able to, prove him right and his, years of teaching right, and be able to kind of bring, honestly, something that's never been done before in WA to Wilkes Martial Arts?
Yeah, obviously it'll be a huge point of pride for me to do that for him in the gym. He's been very selfless for a long time. The amount of time he's put in to developing my striking and my game, and he's missed family holidays and cancelled all sorts of stuff to be around my fights. And we didn't even have an MMA program to start with. It was just I wanted to fight out of a martial arts gym, and he had a Muay Thai background, and he bought a new building and created classes and did all these things to facilitate my growth and my dreams. So I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And I hope that he gets as much or more out of what I'm doing than I do.
No, yeah, definitely. And I feel like the discipline that you kind of radiate, Steve, second to none. I know you're a man of simple pleasures, whether it just be watching television, training, or, going out in the outdoors. I know for you, training and, just being able to do the basic pleasures in life is a big thing. Talk to me a little bit about, Steve Erceg just taking the time away, really reflecting on things outside of fighting, being able to do the simple pleasures, which I feel like you don't get talked about enough amongst the best fishermen in the UFC title. I know I see you on the Instagram, I see you on the Instagram, going out there catching some
Yeah.
massive bait. Talk to me a little bit about, just being able to decompress, being a very simple guy and the success that that's brought you in the octagon and outside of it.
Yeah, so I mean, I do enjoy fishing. I do like going outdoors and that sort of thing. I don't know why I enjoy fishing. The first, I don't know, 10 experiences I had was me getting hooked on a rock and having to get somebody to help me get it off the rocks and cut the line and retie jigs and all that nonsense. So I guess it leads into my competitiveness again. It's like, this can't beat me. I'm going to get a fish. I'm going to do this. And again, I'm not actually a good fisherman. I've been blessed to go on some good trips and to have some people who are good fishermen around me. But most of my time is training, and especially in camp. I don't get to do the simple pleasures very much. Uh, when I'm not training, I'm usually sleeping or lying down and trying to either watch fight footage, watch boxing, watch whatever, or completely decompress and just watch some uh random comedy or something like that. It's just I'm very boring in camp. Let's put it that way.
No, yeah, I can totally understand why, just staying focused on the fight, not trying to get too distracted. But I know for you, 2024 was a big year. I should say the end of 2023. You proposed to your longtime partner. First and foremost, congratulations, Steve, on that. I know it's a big accomplishment for you. Tying the rock, being able to just have the start that you've had in 2024. Talk to me about what it's been like for you to tick off these, milestones where you're really just enjoying the journey as it goes, and also what it's meant for you to kind of have your partner by your side. Because I feel like a lot of the times, the partner and people that you have alongside you, they have such a pivotal part on who you are and how successful you can become. What's it meant for you to finally tie the knot with your significant other and what she's meant to you through your journey in fighting?
Yeah, Caitlin's been very supportive. She works very hard, and a lot of what we have is directly because of what she's done. I wouldn't be in the situation I am now definitely without her. As far as tying the knot and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't feel any different. It feels like we're living exactly the same life. Just now I call her a fiance instead of a girlfriend. So, and then soon it'll be a wife instead of a fiance. It doesn't feel any different. Our relationship's exactly the same. I don't know if it feels different for her, but for me, everything's where it should be, and heading in the right direction.
And I've got to ask because I feel like, you're probably sick of hearing this, about the whole Michael Scott references and the Zarek Zoolanders. Do you cop it from her the worst, or do you cop it from the internet worse? Who gives it to you worse, your fiance or the internet in terms of the references? Because I feel like, man, that's something to live by, I guess, in all accounts. Talk to me just a little bit about embracing that, so much so that you have a T-shirt of it now. And might I say, engage. You've got some work to do in Australian MMA because Steve Erceg might put you out of the water with the T-shirt. Talk to me a little bit about just playing into that arc a little bit and just making light of what's been pretty polarizing to say the least.
I definitely get it more from the internet than I do Caitlin. She isn't a huge TV movie person, so I don't think she's ever even seen The Office, to be honest. But I mean, I like The Office. I think it's hilarious. I can see some similarities between the way we look, me and Steve Carell, obviously, and I feel like part of Aussie culture is berating your friends. So me getting uh, abused and told I look like this and all this comedy stuff is very normal. So it's take it take it in my stride, and if people like it and I can run with it, I will.
Absolutely. And like you say, the Australian fan base, brutal in the jokes department, and Australians in general, brutal in the jokes department. But if there's any supportive audience, quite like the Australian MMA fan base, I have yet to find them yet. One of the most supportive demographics in all of MMA right now. Steve, I want to thank you so much for your time, for the quick opportunity off of a training session. Really do appreciate the time. On a final note, you have probably one of the most exciting fights this entire year in front of you. Yet, you're treating it like, I'm not treating it necessarily like any other fight, but for you, you take pleasure in the process, as it evidently seems, just in being able to do what you love in terms of fighting and training. I want to ask you just in terms of your goals for 2024, a win over Alexandre. UFC 305 is in a couple months' time, and that could be a big fight card in WA. Whether Jack Della gets to fight for the title, and whether if with a win over at UFC 301 over Alexandre Pantoja, first title defense at UFC 305 seems like a match made in heaven for Steven Erceg. Talk to me a little bit about the goals for 2024 now that we're kind of a quarter into the year, and message for the supporters at home, and maybe for people who don't believe necessarily that they can belong in a sport like MMA, because you very evidently, in the short time that you've had in the UFC thus far, proven everyone wrong with your work ethic.
Yeah, so 100% when it comes to Perth, and defend the belt. There's a lot of people that, yeah, in my close circle that do support me very heavily, and I want to have them be able to come to the event much cheaper than flying over to Brazil and that sort of thing, and yeah, be able to come and I can look after them and give them a good show. And yeah, there's a lot of inspiration I've taken out of like Volkanovski and that sort of thing, fighting in Perth, and if I can do that for somebody else, that'd mean a lot to me. So, and yeah, as far as just if people don't think they can do it, I mean, there's lots of examples of people overcoming adversity and coming from nothing. And I mean, I've had a much easier life than other people have that have managed to make it in this sport. So, if they can do it, and if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see you hopefully defy the odds at UFC 301. Steve, thank you so much for your time. A privilege as always to speak with you. And, hopefully with a win at UFC 301, we'll be seeing the Australian fan base take home and, have a new champion to really get behind. I cannot wait to watch you fight at UFC 301. And to the fans at home watching, do be sure to check out Steven Erceg against Alexandre Pantoja at UFC 301. I will be linking. I don't know if the t-shirts are still out. I think they stopped, but hopefully a real release, because I got to get my hands on one of those t-shirts and support, Astro Boy in every capacity. But Steve, thank you so much for your time. I will be linking his socials in the description down below. It's been me, Dan from FightWave, signing out, guys. Have a great day.